Hey everybody, it's Hailey, and today we are making Black Forest cherry cake. And this is something that was requested, I think, last year. But I was really busy with school and I never got around to making it. So I wanted to make it today. I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little weird. I am having the worst allergies. Anyway, let's get started. First, we are going to make the chocolate cake. So I've got 2 cups of granulated sugar. You're gonna mix together all the dry ingredients first, and then I have 2 cups or 240 grams of flour, and then 3/4 a cup of cocoa powder, and then we have a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of baking powder, and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. This is a really easy, yummy chocolate cake recipe. This mixing method is a little different than like the normal cake method because you mix the sugar with dry ingredients. And it's almost more like a muffin. And I'm just gonna mix this until it's all combined. And I forgot to mention that it's actually best if you sift your cocoa powder because a lot of times it'll be very lumpy. But it's gonna be okay. We'll be fine. And then in a separate bowl over here, I have a cup of room temperature butter. I'm gonna add 1/2 cup of oil, and I'm using avocado oil, but just some type of vegetable oil. And 2 eggs. And of course, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Okay, I think that was enough. Oopsie. A little extra vanilla is always good. Then I'm gonna add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. Whoa. And we're gonna mix that for about 2 minutes on medium speed. Okay, I'm done mixing this together, and then you're gonna add a cup of boiling water. This is gonna help make the cake extra moist, and also for some reason it really helps to bring out the chocolate flavor. Pour that in, and then we're gonna mix this again. Whoa, whoa, don't splash. That would be very bad. Okay, I'm done mixing together the cake batter, and now we're gonna prepare our pans to bake the cake. And you want to grease your pan and line it with parchment paper. So an easy way to do that is to get a sheet of parchment paper and lay it out like this, and then you set your pan on top of it and trace around it with a pencil, and then just cut it out, and you've got the perfect size circle. So what you're gonna do is take some cooking spray or oil and spray your pan. And then I'm gonna put my circle of parchment in the bottom. And I'm using 2 9-inch cake pans for this recipe. Try to split the cake batter evenly between the 2 pans. Whoa. Okay. I'm not actually sure why this is considered like a winter cake. Besides, I guess it looks like it could be a winter forest or something. But I always see that people make it for the holidays. So let me know if you know the story behind Black Forest cake and what it's about. Then preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and bake these for about 40 minutes. Okie dokie, look, my chocolate cakes are out of the oven. They smell so good. And I'm gonna let this cool in the pans for a little bit. And then before we assemble the cake, I'm probably gonna stick them in the freezer because I wanna make sure they are completely cooled down. So now we're gonna make our simple syrup, which is what you brush on the layers of the cake. And it's 1/2 cup of water, with half a cup of sugar, and then also a quarter cup of cherry liquor. Don't worry, I didn't buy this. Parents did. Specifically for this recipe, we're gonna try to cook the alcohol out while we make the simple syrup. So you're gonna do a quarter cup. This is where you're gonna get the intense cherry flavor that's in the cake layers. Wow, that is very strong. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna start by turning this to a medium heat, and you wanna dissolve the sugar and then bring it to a boil for about a minute. So I'm gonna stir everything together. Right, come to a simmer. The sugar looks like it's dissolved. I'm gonna bring it to a boil and boil it for a minute. Okay, simple syrup is done, and we're gonna set this aside to let it cool completely. Okay, now we're gonna make the chocolate bark, which is gonna go around the sides of the cake and make it look all cool. And maybe this is why they call it a black forest cake, because it looks like tree bark, kind of. Yeah. Anyway, I have 250 grams of dark chocolate, and I'm gonna melt this. Oh, I think it's already starting to melt. I'm gonna heat it about 20 seconds at a time in the microwave. Okay, my dark chocolate is melted, and I've got a large piece of parchment paper here, and I'm gonna pour the chocolate onto the parchment and spread it out in a very thin layer. And somehow, I don't know how it works, but we're gonna get chocolate bark from this. I'm gonna spread this out. Try to make it kind of tall-ish. I feel like this is one step in the direction of being a chocolatier. Okay, and now from the short side, we're gonna roll this up. Again, I have no idea how. Hope this is gonna work. And I'm gonna put this onto a baking sheet just so it has something to sit on. And we're gonna stick it in the fridge until it hardens. And the last component we have to make is the whipped cream frosting. The key to this is that you want everything to be cold. So make sure your heavy cream is very cold. Yeah. So into this bowl, I'm gonna pour in 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream. And then I'm going to use some mascarpone, I think that's how you say it, for tiramisu and more. Now this helps stabilize the whipped cream frosting, but if you don't have it or you can't get it, you can also do just 3 cups of heavy whipping cream. The problem with that is that whipped cream is so light and fluffy and airy that sometimes that it's not ideal for filling a cake, and it could potentially squirt out the sides. Eh. I guess this is a little weird because we're putting cheese in the frosting, but it's a totally normal thing to do, trust me. So you're gonna want 1.5 cups of the mascarpone. This is a very different texture than I thought it would be. And then I'm also gonna sift in 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. It's important to sift your powdered sugar because it can usually be very lumpy, and whipped cream is just so light and smooth that you'll notice it. And now I'm gonna beat this together for probably 3 to 4 minutes until you get stiff peaks. Alright, this is the texture. Looks perfect. Now comes the challenging part, assembling. So I made 2 9-inch cake layers, and I'm gonna cut them in half so that we'll have 4 layers of cake. But you can also just make it 2 layers. You just won't have as much filling to cake ratio. Or you could do 4 9-inch cake pans if you have 4 pans. This is called torting a cake, and it's kind of hard to do and make even. Just takes practice, which I don't have, but you know, we're here to learn. So I've seen people do this thing where they stick toothpicks in the side. I wonder if that's helpful. Okay, let's see. Oh, oh, okay. Well, I've never torted a cake layer before, and this turned out pretty good. So I do recommend doing the toothpick trick. You stick them on 4 sides at an even spot. Show. Oh, and of course, I think I said this, but I put my cakes in the freezer for like an hour. So to assemble the cake, you're gonna take 1 layer, and I'm gonna start with my thickest layer. They're all supposed to be even, but I have one that's a little bit bigger. And you're gonna take the cherry simple syrup that we made, and you can either use a spoon or a pastry brush to brush this on top. You want to add this generously. This is going to put the cherry flavor into your cake. A lot of times people do simple syrups on cakes to keep them from drying out. This cake doesn't really need it for that, it's just for the flavor. And then you're gonna take about 1 cup of the whipped cream frosting and spread it on top. You wanna have enough frosting for in between each layer and for around the cake. So just take some of that. And again, I'm gonna use my little mini offset spatula to smooth this out, make it nice and flat. I seriously love this tool so much. It's so cute and useful. Okay, so smooth out that frosting. And then this is where the real cherries come in. So I got these. They are dark Morello cherries, which are pitted sour cherries in syrup. But I don't want the syrup, so I'm just gonna... Oh, this is hard to open. I am going to strain these. Haha. My white shirt, that would be bad. Really, you want half a cherry, not whole cherries. And so then you're gonna take your cherry halves and place them on top of the whipped cream, all around the cake. Again, you want enough cherries for each layer, so just try to spread out your cherries evenly. It'll be probably 3/4 cup for each layer. And I'm kind of pressing them into the whipped cream too. And then I'm gonna put the other cake layer on top of this and just keep doing that until I'm done. Okay, I'm done frosting the cake, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. I don't know if I've ever frosted a cake with whipped cream frosting. No, it's hard because it's very thin. But you're gonna have a pretty thin layer on the outside, kind of like a crumb coat, because we're gonna cover it up with the chocolate bark or chocolate ganache. But it turned out to be very smooth, and it looks stable. It doesn't look crooked. Then we're gonna add the chocolate bark. I'm so interested to see how this turns out. Whoa. Okay, it just breaks off like that. Okay. Let's just unroll it. I'm just unrolling my parchment paper. This has been chilling in the fridge for a long time, so it's solid. Whoa. Okay, that is like the coolest thing ever. Chocolate bark. Whoa. Cool, cool, cool. Cool beans. And it's snappy, crunchy. Yay. So I'm just gonna put these pieces all around the cake, and hopefully there's enough whipped cream frosting so that it'll stick. Yay! I did it right. How it turned out. By the way, half the cake is missing because people ate it before I could try it. But now we're gonna try it. Let's see. I guess I have to get a part that has cherry and cake. Oh my gosh, this chocolate cake is so moist, and it's got like a strong but not too strong cherry flavor in it, and then you get the fresh cherries, and it's a really nice light whipped cream to go with it. This is my first time making this cake. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had Black Forest cake or made it, and let me know if there's anything else you want to see me bake, especially if it's related to Christmas. I'm trying to make a lot of Christmas desserts right now, so make sure you subscribe and give this video a thumbs up so you don't miss any new videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye!